Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hello.
Wherever you are listening and wherever you are, this is Fit Disney, helping you make sure your Disney resort is a good fit for you and your family. Today we are on location at Walt Disney World's Polynesian Resort. Aloha, talofa, yorona. Okay, that's hello, I think, in Hawaiian, Samoan, and Tahitian. But I'm stopping there because there are dozens of Polynesian languages. But sincerely, welcome to one of the great escape resorts within Walt Disney World. In many experts' opinion, the Polynesian, the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and the Wilderness Lodge are the most authentically themed to their name and feel most like you have left Florida. In a place that is the resort version of the Enchanted Tiki Room, even where the garbage bags, garbage cans are themed out, you are in for a Pacific Islander treat in one of the true OG Disney resorts. You can watch the fireworks with the music being piped in from the Magic Kingdom on the beach or from roughly a third of the Polynesian resort rooms. And no, the fireworks are not really in reverse. I just wanted to see what that looked like. Pretty cool, huh? Polynesian literally means many-nesian, right? Okay, well, it means many islands. And there are between 1 and 10,000 separate entities or islands in Polynesia. It spans from New Zealand to Hawaii and forms a triangle to the east and became the inspiration for two of Disney's movie classics, Lilo and Stitch and the massively successful Moana. Walt himself loved this part of the world, having visited Hawaii even before it was a U.S. state. And although he never got to see it completed, he was involved in the plans for the Polynesian resort. The Polynesian was part of the original construction, along with the Magic Kingdom and Contemporary Resort, and the three opened on October 1st, 1971. So when they cleared these Central Florida swamps and began digging out the Seven Seas Lagoon, the vision for the Polynesian was baked right into it. Speaking of the man-made Seven Seas Lagoon, the white sand lining it up to the Polynesian was dredged in from the neighboring and connected natural lake, Bay Lake. As mentioned, the Polynesian is tied for first in being the oldest resort with the Contemporary. Fort Wilderness also opened that year, but just a little bit later that year. As you can imagine, over the years there have been additions and upgrades, like in 1978 and in 1985, and the overwater Bora Bora bungalows were added in 2015. In 2024, the Grand Island Tower with its Disney Vacation Club rooms and major Moana influences make it one of the most upscale and sometimes pricey places to stay on property. I've said this before, but giving exact numbers on the available rooms at Disney is difficult. It's a variable number, I guess, because of what is considered a room. But rooms can be combined or subdivided, and in many cases, either way, the Polynesian is not one of the larger Disney resorts in terms of number of rooms, and that's really not the point or design of this property. It's also on the smaller size too in terms of total acreage. But at the same time, it feels very spread out. That's probably because it is just this narrow strip of land here, hugging the Seven Seas Lagoon, basically from the edge of the Grand Floridian all the way over to the transportation center. By Disney standards, it's kind of small, but if you're carrying your luggage yourself from the parking area to the Tuvalu or Hawaii buildings, it will feel plenty big to you. Or if you're walking from the Island Tower all the way over to the transportation center to catch the monorail to Epcot, it might feel kind of big too. In terms of room density, it is on the more dense side of Disney resorts, and it definitely gives you that upscale beachside resort feel. It's busy, loud, there's lots going on. If you're looking for a more low-key resort, you might be more comfortable at the Old Key West. But honestly, because of the tropical vibes, it doesn't feel obnoxiously busy or overcrowded. If we take a look at a satellite map of the Polynesian, let's take a quick overhead tour. First, bracketing the resort is the Seven Seas Lagoon to the north, the Grand Floridian to the northwest, and the Transportation Center to the east. Next would be our newest addition to the resort. 2024 gave us the Island Tower. Now moving from there, we have 4 guest buildings on the west side of the original property footprint. There's Tonga with its 6 large club-level suites, including the 2-story, 1,800 square foot presidential suite. Now, rooms starting with numbers 12, 22, and 32 are going to be found in the Aotearoa building. That's right, Aotearoa. Starting with 13, 23, and 33 are rooms in the Fiji building, and 14, 24, and 34 in the Tuvalu building. The 5 buildings surrounding the lava pool, including rooms starting with 15, 25, and 35 are in Hawaii, 16, 26, and 36 in Samoa, 17 and 27 in Niue, and 18, 28, and 38 in Rarotonga. And finally, rooms starting with 19, 29, and 39 in the Tokelau. And one-of-a-kind Disney rooms here at the Bora Bora Bungalows. Finally, the eastern duo of buildings here, Pago Pago, with rooms starting in 11, 21, and 31, and Moria with rooms starting with 10, 20, and 30. There are 3 pools at the Polynesian, each with a unique personality. By the Island Tower, the newest, Cove Pool, with its kids area where they can splash around with Moana and her outrigger canoe. There's the Lava Pool with a big water slide and a kids' play area, and definitely the most popular of the 3 pools. And finally, the Oasis Pool, which has kind of a retro, laid-back vibe and might be called an oasis as it's an oasis from the noise of the other 2 pools. This is definitely my kind of pool when we come to the Polynesian. The Polynesian has many dining options at various price points. There are poolside bar and grills at each pool, Captain Cook's quick service, the Kona Cafe, and the Pineapple Lanai. And yes, you can get Dole Whip here. The relaxed island atmospheres of Tambu Lounge and the world-famous Ohana Table Service Restaurant. The Wailulu Grill is on the first floor of the new Island Tower, and has quickly become one of our favorite Disney outings anywhere in the Disneyverse. However, our favorite and most Polynesian resort feeling is Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. Hard to say that a few times. Get there early and be ready to order. Study the menu ahead of time and maximize your time watching the festivities. We won't give anything away. Going out here into the lagoon, we have a dock where you can catch a boat over to the Magic Kingdom. Now, on the way to the Polynesian, from the Magic Kingdom, you're going to stop by the Grand Floridian first, and then over to the Polynesian. But on your way back to the Magic Kingdom, it is a straight shot. I know the monorail is the more popular of the transportation options, but honestly, the boat ride is very nice and often not too crowded. Finally, common question, which direction does the monorail go from the Polynesian as you're trying to get to the Magic Kingdom? Well, it goes to the west, or toward the Grand Floridian, or otherwise known as clockwise. And this is the direction you would rather go because there's only one stop at the Grand Floridian before you get to the Magic Kingdom. And if you're wondering where a good spot is to watch the fireworks, it's anywhere and everywhere on property. Just find an unobstructed view somewhere and there you go. The amazing closeness to the Magic Kingdom is one thing, and the overall South Pacific feel of this resort is another. But remember, all the resorts have their pros and cons, and that's why you're ensuring that this is a good fit for you and your family. Here's a little surprise. Prior to the construction of the Island Tower, there was no fitness center on site at the Polynesian. Guests had access, and actually still do have access, to the gym at the Grand Floridian. But now with the Island Tower, we have this modern design, wide open with the sunlight filling the room, fitness center here on the eastern side of the building, just past the Coca-Cola freestyle machines and before you get to the Wailulu outdoor bar. As you come in, there are some cool towels in a fridge, some flavored water like peach water today, and a water refill station. There are some self-spotting weight racks, some high-tech workout machines, and old-fashioned kettlebells and medicine balls. There are techno gym treadmills, rowing machines, stationary bikes, stair climbers, and ellipticals. Pretty much anything you could expect or want in a resort gym. If you've seen some of our other Fit Disney Resort reviews, we have given the idea of doing some indoor miles, walking in the interior hallways of some of the larger deluxe resorts like the Contemporary, the Wilderness, Dolphin, the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Indoor walking, not running, please don't run in indoor hallways, can be a nice respite during the oppressive summer heat and the thunderstorms, or to give your feet a nice comfortable hallway instead of the hard pavement. However, at the Polynesian, with all the smaller individual buildings, it doesn't really make sense to measure out indoor walking distances. Also, I know some of you might like to do stair climbing, as it is a fantastic exercise, but the tallest building outside of the Island Tower is just 3 stories at the Polynesian, and if you're not staying in the Island Tower, you have to have a key card for the elevator just to get yourself up to the guest rooms. So, You could walk the interior stairwells of the Island Tower, but you have to be staying in the Island Tower to do so. There are several ways to get over to the Magic Kingdom from this Magic Kingdom resort, and we've talked about the monorail and the boat, but you could just walk yourself right over there too. Never mind, you might walk 10 miles in the park during your average full park day. What's a few more, right? You might notice a little jogging trail and some signage here at the Polynesian. This is a loop. It's an out and back to the Grand Floridian. Now, if you start here outside the Great Ceremonial House by the marina and Trader Sam's, you could go either direction, but for us today, we're going to head straight over toward the Grand Floridian, cutting in front of the Island Tower, hugging the shoreline, and then entering the interior here of the Grand Floridian. Around the large pool area to the far side of the main Grand Floridian building, just to where you would walk underneath the monorail, and then turn around and retrace your steps all the way back to where we started at the Polynesian. When you get back to the starting point, turn left and go down around the marina, out and around the lava pool, and take the sidewalk cut off before going out to the bungalows along the Hawaii building, straight past the Moria building, and turn right after you've passed it. Now you're going to wind between the Moria and Pago Pago building, turn right again, and you're going back toward the lake and the Tokelau building, out to that sidewalk, turn left again, back to our starting point, and this is a 2.3 mile or 3.68 kilometer run, walk, or jog. Now, if you've seen our other Fit Disney videos, we try to make some sort of a little challenge at each resort, and this challenge would be doing a little more walking or running, however you like to move. But this would be departing from the same spot here at the Polynesian and making your way through the Grand Floridian. But this time, keep going all the way up to the Magic Kingdom to the boat launch area, and this will be your turnaround point, and you're going to make your way back. It's about 1.4 miles each way for a little longer distance, total of 2.82 miles, which is 4.5 kilometers. Enjoy the scenic path along the lake. I particularly love the stretch about 3/4 of a mile between the Grand Floridian and the Magic Kingdom. You can actually get some downtime here and maybe a little bit of peace of quiet in what can be a very noisy place. Most Disney resorts are in clusters. You have the Contemporary, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, and Wilderness around Magic Kingdom. The Skyliner route has the Riviera, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, and the Art of Animation. Disney Springs has the Old Key West, Port Orleans, and Saratoga Springs, and Epcot has the beach and yacht clubs, the Boardwalk, the Dolphin, and Swan. Now, just to give you an idea of some of the relative distances between the Polynesian and some of the other resort areas within the Disneyverse, here you go. From the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian is 0.7 miles or 1.12 kilometers. To the Wilderness Lodge, 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers. To the Contemporary Resort, 1.6 miles, which is 2.56 kilometers. To Fort Wilderness, 3.7 miles or 5.92 kilometers. To Coronado Springs, 4.1 or 6.56 kilometers. To the French Quarter at Port Orleans, 4.5 or 7.2 kilometers. To the Swan, 4.7, which is 7.52 kilometers. To the Old Key West, 4.9 or 7.84 kilometers. To the Dolphin, 5 miles, which is 8 kilometers. And to the Boardwalk, 5.1, which is 8.16 kilometers. To the Yacht and Beach Clubs, 5.5 miles or 8.8 kilometers. To the Riviera, 5.7 miles or 9.12 kilometers. To Saratoga Springs, 5.9 miles, which is 9.44 kilometers. To the Caribbean Beach, 6.1 miles, which is 9.76 kilometers. All-Star Music, 6.2 miles, which is 9.92 kilometers. And if you're going to either Disney Springs or Pop Century, it is 6.4 miles or 10.24 kilometers. And finally, Art of Animation, or the ESPN, 6.5 miles or 10.4 kilometers. And I forgot one more. Animal Kingdom Lodge, 7.1 miles or 11.36 kilometers. A few overall impressions of the Polynesian Resort. The Polynesian certainly ranks near the top of most people's Disney resort lists. The dining options, the proximity to the Magic Kingdom. To me, though, the overall feel of the resort is one where if you skip the parks for a day or even two, it doesn't feel like you're missing out on too much. The Polynesian is very much Disney themed out with character dining and loudly communicates hints about Mickey at every turn. Plus, You might have a grand view of the fireworks from your room, or if not, come down to the beach and catch them there. This is an iconic Disney resort, one of the originals that never disappoints. There are lots of resort perks. The Polynesian has just about everything you could look for in terms of a resort. There are 3 pools, all with very different appeals. Large play areas, a beach. The lava pool is crowded and loud and has organized kids' activities happening. There's just about every type of room you could ask for and every level of dining from the high end to the poolside bars. If the Polynesian gets any dings sometimes, it could be about the prices and the availability. It is often hard to find a room here, and even harder to find an affordable room. And if you have a date that you want in the near future, you're going to pay for it. And even then, you have to hope that they have the room type you're looking for. Best practice for going to the Polynesian with its smaller by Disney standards, capacity, and pricing. Plan way in advance for your Polynesian vacation. And just think, for what you pay for an over-the-water bungalow at the Polynesian resort, you could probably get an all-inclusive trip somewhere in actual Polynesia. I'm kidding. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm kidding. Someone could check that out for me. Take that into consideration, though. And remember, make sure your Disney resort is a good fit for you. Take care, and we will see you next time.